Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. This is a public roundtable, and we have done many of these, and some of you have been here before, so welcome back if you've been here. And if this is the first time that you're coming, welcome. I hope you enjoy the program. 1 Million by 1 Million, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in revenue and beyond, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. This is the 289th 1 Million by 1 Million Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. And the event is being recorded. You will have the recording available after the program if you want to refer back to it. Our Twitter handles are at 1M by 1M and at Stromana. We do publish a lot of intense, solid content on the entrepreneurship discipline. And if you're live tweeting the show today, please use hashtag 1M1M. The 1M1M Roundtable's YouTube channel has recordings of all prior sessions, and this one will go there as well. So feel free to go check out prior recordings there as well as other content. And these are the call-in instructions. We're not quite ready for call-in yet, but I will put these up, and we will have time for open Q&A, I hope. So line up your questions for sure. Just a few words before we get started on the entrepreneur presentations. Presenters, please know that we are on your side. We are here because we want you to succeed. We know you're doing your best, but because we have seen lots of patterns and lots of examples and lots of case studies for many, many years, we may be able to accelerate your journey somehow. And if we can, we would like to give you that input and those short circuits. That's why, we're trying to do this through an accelerator program. And it is, for a first-time entrepreneur, the learning curve of entrepreneurship is a very, very high, very steep learning curve. So, this program is designed to make that learning curve a more comfortable, more efficient learning curve for you. Now, it's very possible that you may disagree with my feedback. That's not an unlikely scenario. Don't feel bad about it, and you can decide whether you want to take my feedback, act upon my feedback or not. That's really up to you. All I ask is consider the feedback, because it is usually feedback that is given based on experience. And just because it doesn't please you, don't reject the feedback out of hand because you're not hearing what you want to hear. What we try to do here is tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. And this is a working session. So throughout this session today, we will be working with entrepreneurs, trying to help you, remove roadblocks, move one step forward, put one foot before the other. So that's the spirit of the program. We're not here to gratuitously give you negative feedback or to, make you feel bad. That's just not the spirit of the program. It is about constructive, feedback, taking which you can actually move forward. If you're not pitching, however, please do participate. It is a roundtable. It is not a one-way session. It is a roundtable. So do participate by asking questions in the chat, or also later on when I open up the conference line, you can ask questions there too. All right, so let's get started. We will start with how do you say your name? Edrice Argandiwal? Is that how you say your name?
It's actually Edrice Argandiwal. Close enough.
Where is your name from?
I'm from Afghanistan.
Wow, cool. All right, tell us what you're working on.
All right, great. So my name is Edrice Argandiwal. Hello, everyone. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Journey Inc. I co-founded this organization with two other individuals, one of whom is a big data architect in the industry, and the other a scientist that has worked for Chevron. We hope that what we are building is going to reinvent the tradition of journaling. So as a producer and a consumer of content on social media, our team has noticed two fundamental problems with this content. One is that the content is often surface level and inauthentic, meaning it is just not emotional and it's very fleeting. Secondly, a lot of this content is saturated and scattered. There's so much that it's difficult to understand what is going on. This is where Journey comes into play. Next slide, please. Journey is a video journaling platform focused on two very, very important things: experiences and emotions. This is Julia. Let's use her as an example. Julia is a pregnant mother going through pregnancy. She uses Journey to chronicle about her experiences through pregnancy, as well as connect to other mothers that are going through similar emotions and experiences. Let's look at how this looks on Journey. And thank you. With Journey, Julia can record up to a 45-second journey, and 45 seconds allows for Julia to expand on moments that matter, like the first kick she might have, or the excitement she is expressing because she's excited about bringing a baby to this world. After she records her video, she can specify what the video is about by associating an emotion to the video, as well as selecting a topic from the preset list or creating a new one. And in this case, she's going to create a new one titled Pregnancy. Tagging your emotion and topic allows for a more efficient way of search for people, topics, and emotions all over the world. This is a very important thing. Mothers can connect to other mothers that are going through similar experiences but are also feeling the same way. Julia can also browse through the public feed, and this enables her to just discover new topics. And can you go back? I'm sorry. Thank you. So browsing through the public feed enables her to discover new topics as well as new people, and browsing through the following feed enables her to only follow the topics of interest. So unlike other platforms where you consume everything that an individual does, on Journey you can pick and choose the topics that interest you most so that the content that you're consuming is efficient. Next slide. This is one of my favorite features, and this is the video comments. So Julia is able to have real-life conversations through video comments with other mothers that are either going through similar experiences or feel the same way about certain topics. Next slide. 25% of U.S. adults now have iPhones, and approximately half of them visit social networks every single day. If we could capture 2% of this market, that's about 1 million users in year one. You might be asking, how do you do that? Well, we have about 60 pioneers on our platform already, and over 300 videos have been posted. These are pioneers that are either YouTube celebrities, musicians, artists, and we also plan to target the user base of Pinterest, Reddit, and YouTube, since we believe these are the users that are going to be championing our product the most. Next slide. So, Journey is trying to become the Netflix of real-life experiences. We want to make Journey a place where reality TV becomes real. And how do we do that? Well, we need to grow and we need to become profitable. So here are some potential revenue streams. We have partnered with a company called Affectiva, and they generate emotions from facial gestures. So we will have 3 very important data clusters, one of which is user-generated emotions, facial recognition converted to emotions, as well as the topics associated to those emotions. Some very important information. We also plan to adopt a monetization model similar to YouTube's revenue sharing model. We plan to have sponsored accounts that corporations and brands can pay a premium price for gaining access to analytics portals and so on. We also want to venture out into sponsored content. So for a fee, sponsored content will appear in the public and following feed for consumption. We also are planning to venture out into creative marketing services like a Moments That Matter video album that we can send a compiled clip of all of your best journeys in the past, things of that sort. We're very, very excited. We're launching in about 1 week, and we hope that after launch we can expand to Android, web, iPad, and so on. And with that said, we are seeking about $500,000 in order to grow and become the company that we want to become. Don't forget, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Thanks all.
So, Idris, the problem with what I hear here is that in the business that you're in, which is kind of media, social media type of companies, the funding follows traction, not the other way around.
Right, right.
So if you're trying to raise funding on concept, you're going to have a hard time.
Right, right. So we have, if it helps, we have raised about $130,000 from friends and family thus far, based on concept.
Friends and family works. That's kind of the only thing that works. At the moment
right.
you get out of friends and family in the institutional realm or in the professional angel realm, that requires traction.
Absolutely, and I think we're totally aware of that. That's why we've adopted, the 60 celebrities, YouTube artists, and things of that sort, and we're launching next week. So this pitch is definitely a ploy to practice and hope for traction when we launch next week, so that we can prove our viability and grow. So absolutely, I agree.
All right. Well, the other thought I have on your idea is
sure.
Focusing on some segments where people naturally want to share. I think what you're saying about pregnancy and sharing every moment of pregnancy may be interesting. I'm not sure how interesting it is for random people to look at other random people's pregnancy experience. It doesn't resonate with me, but you should check with other people who are in your target audience. But travel, for example, is an area where I think people, so what Anthony Bourdain, for instance, does on CNN, certain versions of that can be done by talented, consumers as well. Like I was recently traveling in Eastern Europe, and I did a travelogue on Facebook, and a lot of people were reading it. It was kind of something I published on my timeline, and basically has disappeared. I can't even retrieve that. I don't have like a movie of that that travelogue, which I would love to have, and it's something that you may want to consider is, people are posting all sorts of things. Can those be strung into some sort of an experience? I know you're trying to do something else, but that's where I encountered the issue that I personally resonate with. So those are my two feedbacks. One is, I think, go after a segment that has more general appeal than these very personal experiences that is kind of boring for other people, for most people. I'm not interested in looking at whose baby kicked. It's not really interesting content. Whereas travel experiences, especially in interesting places with interesting curators, like, Anthony Bourdain is a very, very interesting curator, but there are tons of people who are also interesting people and interesting curators of travel experience. That would be much more, that would have a lot more general appeal, I think.
Right. No, I completely agree with you, and it's funny you bring up travel because one of our pioneers on Journey right now is trending, and his journeys are all about the places he's been in his lifetime. So he's been to Hawaii here and there, and he's journaling about that. So that's a great point, and we'll definitely consider using that as an example so that it resonates more. Yeah.
And also, I think if you tighten up the segmentation, advertisers are also much more interested.
Right. Agreed.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
The next presenter is Sudhanshu from Pune, India.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello, Sudhanshu. Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, Mana. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good evening. So, myself, Sudhanshu Rathod, founder of Bugyal. So, as you see, I have put in my post, as you suggested, you asked for, how Bugyal started is like, I've been to a track and I couldn't share that story the way I wanted. So that left me thinking that why whatever experience that I have, I cannot help someone else. And when I was searching for it, I cannot look forward. So this is like a funny thing. When before starting Bugyal, I tried to do something I was very much away from all this startup world. So I tried to do something, and when I did the ideation and design part on, 7 days I spent on all that, and then I started thinking of like who could be the competitors. So that was a weird experience where I was competing with Google, so I dropped that. So Bugyal, actually what it does, let me tell you, let me share that way. We all travel a lot of places in the world, and every person travels some other place. We are talking about the place that we don't know about, which needs a bit of planning. Like whenever you go to a new place, You do a bit of planning for that. Because everyone generally wants to know how the thing is going to be. So that is one thing. There's another part that every destination in the world is traveled by someone or the other. Now what's happening, whenever we go to a new place, we start from scratch every time. Why is that case? Because every time one plans, makes a plan, does a good amount of research and finding out things, overgoing that experience on the trip, that information, that your whole experience is simply lost in the sense, whatever plan that you make, that plan is not getting shared. So you book through an OTA, OTA does all that booking stuff, you go through a wonderful experience, but that is lost. What is coming out is a simple photo in Facebook, which starts the conversation and ends the conversation. It's like, okay, I posted a photo. Okay, friends, where have you been? Oh, I have been to this and to that. So what Facebook is trying, what Bugyal is trying to do is making that experience help others. So like every time person has not to reinvent the wheel. So a person can use the French experience as is. So a typical travel memoir will contain details of hotel, the place that he has stayed. It could be a tent or any other place, what all attraction he has seen, experience about that, any activities that they have done there. So it shares out that information, which is a really meaningful information. What route they have taken, have they gone by bus or anything else. Coming over to like target customers, we are targeting millennials to start with in India, who like they share a lot, but they share a bit less information. So what that I have, the aspect of pain is I already talked about. Generally, traveler hop 38 odd sites before the point of booking, and a lot of travelers, they have a very good experience, and we are trying to showcase that experience so that experience helps out other travelers, like a sort of LinkedIn profile for travelers, which others can seek you to and get info from them for their use, and in turn, like you use theirs, they use yours that way. So mutual collaboration. So this all we are addressing the pain, and also thing is that every time there are certain, whenever we go to a destination, there are certain set of common queries that are present, which the person who knows, it doesn't go to that person. So Bugyal tries to address that way, that was visited a place, is being just forwarded the question which the person who doesn't know, or it could be a friend or it could be other fellow traveler. So relevant question going to the relevant person. And if the question is already answered, you simply see in that place, like it is destination, okay, these are the things. That is one thing. Shamana, next slide, please. Acquisition, yeah. So we are targeting. Basically, the revenue stream that we are trying is the booking part of hotels and flights. As of now, later on we are planning that we have a like customized ad in place, so that 2 hotel recommendations, one gets from friend, a third one, most matching one, we push as an ad, which is like better suited for than the 2. So these are the revenue streams. So we are currently trying to get users via various groups, travel forums, and try to get some influencers. Customer, like they get their trip idea from their friends, so like they themselves reach out to other friends that this is a good thing, you try that out. So this is one thing, and yeah, so these are this is a gray area, like where we think that we need to like acquisition part is tough, because Google paid ads, we think that it could just happen for booking, but what about sharing experience, what about historical building up of a resume of travel that way. So currently we are in beta stage, planning to roll out in Jan end. We have done validation on memoir part, site hits around 18K, 100 plus registered users, mostly friends and few outsiders. Shared memoir around 100. So far we have done bookings also, just to remain being up and running, around 4.5K of USD of bookings that we have done so far.
So can you elaborate on the last point you have on the slide? Average deal size $350 US, booking revenue around 4.5K US dollars. you are getting as revenue a percentage of this, right? This is the top line, isn't it?
Right. Booking, the deal size is 350. We are getting a cut out of that. So
you're getting what?
Total booking, hotel booking. A cut out of that booking.
What is that amount? How much are you getting? What is your business model?
That is, so it's a typical travel agent stuff as of now. However, we are referring to others also. So we can refer to Expedia or we can refer to booking.com, but we directly are doing that way. We are integrating with multiple operators to get the booking.
So this is your business model that you're assuming you'll move forward with is primarily an affiliate business model.
Not affiliate, actually a travel agent plus affiliate.
So what are we talking about? Are we talking about 10% of the total booking revenue comes to you, or?
Right. Yeah, 10%. 10% is like the profit that we made out of a booking.
Not profit. That's your revenue. That's not profit.
No. I'm talking about the revenue. We get 10% commission that way.
That commission is your revenue. That's not your profit. That's your revenue.
Right. That's what that. So in this case, this is not the revenue actually. This is the total bookings that we have done.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the cycle like of memoir and converting to plan, then converting. So what happens? The plan is again shared back in one person's history, and person has to just put photos, and so it's like automating the whole flow. Wherein just once you have to do things, and rest on keep on happening. So that's one. So these are my questions, Shramana, to you.
So the question is providing a unified system to customer a fit considering traveler hop, multiple sites, reinventing the wheel via travel planning. So for me, and I do travel a lot, and I have a specific way of traveling. The issue I have with the idea that you described is that I'm only interested in inputs from a specific type of traveler that matches my style of traveling.
Right.
And that is
so we are working on
key issue. Do you have that address?
Right. So that actually we are developing the algo for that. The taste is actually, you get feed via taste, what your taste is. So today your taste could be adventure, tomorrow your taste could be beach. So we want to, in real time, we want to discover your taste.
No.
Based on taste, we show you.
What you just described, taste being beach versus adventure, is very superficial. You have to really understand. Other people have tried to do this, by the way. I've seen other business ideas come through that have tried to do this kind of, travel planning sites and try to cluster them by various different parameters and so forth. So you need to kind of research what has been done before on this topic to see why things have failed. Because today, if you look at what TripAdvisor has a little bit of that, but not entirely. It is the most used travel review site in the world. But, what you're describing may be helpful. I'm not saying it will not be helpful, but other people have thought about it before, and for some reason, people have not been able to make it work. And I'd like to know why, why have they failed?
Because at that moment, social media was not that prevalent. Maybe that is one reason, because there are
social media has been plenty prevalent for many years now. Social media has been very highly adopted for at least 6, 7, 8 years at this point.
Yeah. So those two startups, two was acquired. One was acquired, one was closed. I just have to recall their name. So they actually tried it, and that was in 2005 and 2008. 2005 and 2004 they started something of that sort. Timeline I remember. Fine. So I got your point. So you said superficial. How you say that it's superficial? I mean, I want more on that.
So there are multiple dimensions to how taste is actually parameterized. there's obviously levels of experiences. There is whether you're looking for boutique experiences or large multinational kinds of experiences. How sophisticated a person is determines what kind of experiences appeal to them. The factors that you mentioned, beach versus adventure versus culture versus whatever, that's actually relatively simple. Those are easier to tag. But the subtleties of that, of the taste parameterization is much more complicated. So that's something that you need to think about in a lot more detail.
Fine.
Like right now I'm planning a trip for which one of the things is it's a trip to Sicily in Italy. And one thing that I'm having a really hard time with is figuring out what are the times of concerts. And Sicily has a lot of Greek theaters, and there are performances in some of these theaters. And the websites that I'm looking for that information in are quite inadequate. I haven't been able to find a lot of that information, so I'm going to have to go in and to the I've looked at the hotels, and I'm going to now go into the hotels and check with the hotels to see if they can help me crack that nut. But it's very time consuming. If I could find all this in on a site, that would be a lot easier. Whereas if last winter we were in Eastern Europe and it was a breeze. Prague, Vienna, Budapest, all the concerts and exhibitions, everything were on websites. It was very easy for me to book trips when all that is available relatively easily. London is very easy for me because London, all the information is available online. I go to London all the time. So these are,
So
that's what I mean by taste. Is that,
You should be getting connected to a person who has done a concert in Italy, like that sort of thing. He's aware about that information, right? You would be liking to connect with some person, right? That's it.
Yeah, it would be great if I could connect with somebody who has the same kind of taste as my taste and has planned a similar journey, because people who visit Sicily do kind of the same route. Either they go from Palermo down to Agrigento and so forth and come up through Catania, Taormina, or go the reverse route or start in Catania, whatever. But it's kind of like there's a set of things that people do, and if you're looking for a culture experience, you're doing this. If you're looking for a food and cooking kind of experience, you're doing this. If you're blah blah blah. So there's and we'll probably be looking for a combination of all those. And yes, it is a lot of research for me to find all these things individually. Yes.
All right.
But the trick that I find here, your next question is the key one. Is a separate social media for travel feasible, considering Facebook's monopoly, right? So the question here then is, what is the incentive? Now that I have done this huge amount of research and I've created my travel plan, what is my incentive to upload that to your site? I'm probably not going to go back to Sicily, so that's, I guess the question then is that open source question, is that what incentives are you creating for people to upload their experiences and their travel planning? Like in TripAdvisor, I routinely review hotels that we've stayed in, and it's nice because I'm kind of interested in supporting these hotels as well, and somehow or the other, I think you have to understand the psychology of why people do it. So I think you have a note from Dino, and it is feasible. Travelblog.com is doing very well. You may want to check up travelblog.com to see if that's in tune with what you're proposing. But the incentives need to be structured so that people are willing and able to bring their information onto your site, and then you have to somehow create some interface with Facebook.
Yeah, it's already there. Okay, So we already pick the tag place from Facebook and make them rich. And the incentive part that you're talking about, we have a reward system in place. And like we are also trying to give a value when a friend gets really help from a friend, he gets points and plus gets some like vote or some thank you, something.
Sudhanshu, I have another input for you. Input for you. So what I am looking for, and this is actually something I'm actually actively looking for, is some place where I can do a travelogue that will automatically, every piece that I put together will automatically be posted on Facebook with pictures and everything. But something that will be available for me on a long-term basis that I can preserve and are able to share with people all over the world. And if you can meet that, can you help me?
Yeah,
let me finish.
There.
Okay, you're constantly interrupting me. You're not letting me finish. You're here to take my input, right? So take it.
Yes, sorry.
If I am able to do that, that is actually going to serve your purpose as well. Because if you structure a software through which I can do my travelogue that also publishes into maybe Facebook, maybe Twitter, maybe other places, places where it would be okay to publish travelogues. It would be interesting to publish travelogues. Then, and I'm able to share it with people who want to view that travelogue in one place, not on a piecemeal basis as I'm traveling through it.
Right.
Then you would have captured all the information you're looking for. If you structure this right, if you structure like what hotels did I stay at, what kind of activities did I do throughout the day, and if you can capture all of it in the form of a travelogue with information, with the location tags and everything, you have got all the information needed to be able to cater to the audience who will be looking for that information afterwards. And in a much more charming, much more interesting way.
Right. I agree. So,
but the problem, however, I will tell you this, the problem is most people are terrible at doing travelogues. They put their own pictures.
Right.
A joke I always make is that people, they're all posting their own pictures. So whether they're in Machu Picchu or, or Italy, it's impossible to gauge because the pictures are their pictures. And I'm not interested in other people's pictures when I'm trying to read somebody's travelogue. And most people, I don't think, resonate with that. People resonate with a real travelogue and the experiences of a real travelogue. So if you can find talented people who have good capabilities, interesting travel styles and good capabilities of curating experiences, doing interesting research and finding interesting experiences, and if you can capture their travelogues, per place you actually don't need that many. You kind of need to hit all the different taste points, and then that would be a good repository with which you would be able to potentially attract people to your site, I think.
Right, great input, Samha. So the traveler posting, we are already doing it, but that's not so good that the way you have said. We are doing it to Facebook, Google, and Twitter, but yeah, we need to work on that a lot. So
what I'm saying is that it will solve your chicken and egg problem. If you do the travelogue product, the travelogue app right, that will actually solve your, and if you can give me something on my iPhone where I'm taking the pictures and I'm writing up the notes and whatever right away, and it's all captured and then it's published in some way that is useful, that will take care of your issue of getting the content.
Fine. Thanks so much.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
Yeah.
If you get to something interesting, I would be interested in using it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Okay, folks.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sudhanshu. We're going to David Richards next.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, David.
Hello. How are you doing?
All right. Where are you dialing from?
I'm from Portland, Oregon.
That's what I thought. 503. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and thank you. So let me go ahead and get started. My name is Dave Richards. I'm the CEO and founder of Rise CX. And in B2B, customers today are nearly 60% through the journey before they contact a sales rep. You know, they're self-educated. They often know more about the competition than the sales rep, and they want to go beyond the pitch and have a conversation with the company so that they can move to action. Rise CX enables marketing and sales to help customers experience a highly relevant, personalized service and facilitate a modern form of marketing and sales. There are two core technologies that are slowing down sales. First, PowerPoint, because it's designed for a pitch, not a conversation. It's a 30-year-old tool. And email, because it's very full and it's passive. It's a very passive form of engagement. Our cloud-based publishing and collaboration platform allows B2B marketing and sales reps to easily convert their existing presentations and their additional materials into an amazing multimedia-style presentation that works across all devices. Also, Rise CX facilitates deeper engagement. So we replace email with what we call a space. Now, space is a personalized collaboration landing page with tools that facilitate active collaboration. I'm talking about polls and chat, and where all your presentations are organized into one common experience with your customer. Next slide. So let me just quickly kind of compare side by side in terms of how things are currently going and how we're able to provide more value through our form of exchange. So in the existing B2B world, marketing is funding or producing lots of material in the form of PDFs, PowerPoints, and videos. Oftentimes these materials are offline, and what we're able to do is just take all of that material that's being produced and publish it through our collaboration platform. And it's a simple process. It's simply uploading, compiling, and delivering, you know, that content to your customer. Next slide. So I don't think that slide came through very well on your side, but on the left side, what you should see is an email, and you can imagine that email with many attachments, a long-winded thing with links, etc. We replace that email with a space. It's a branded experience, again, with the right materials and the tools that reps need to further engage with customers. Next slide. So with email, obviously, reps continue to wait, and there's some etiquette around that, and more email threads follow, and they're not sure what's happening the entire time. Versus our collaboration platform, where reps have a variety of tools to get feedback and to further engage with customers. Next slide. So eventually, as you know, emails stop getting responded to, and reps are left with no clue as to what is happening. Versus through our experience, throughout the entire process, both marketing and sales are collecting direct analytics, and they're collecting direct feedback. They're getting, you know, many forms of engagement, and all the while learning a great deal about their customers and who the champions are and who they need to work with to truly close the deal. Next slide. So from a technology perspective, things, as you know, continue to advance. If you look at the trends for 2015 and 16 and beyond, everybody's talking about these common things such as customer engagement, aligning marketing and sales, an omni-channel process where you can deliver one experience regardless of device. And we are able to facilitate all of these major trends. Our focus is really on personalization and doing that at scale, and we are able to provide this ease of use through our platform and through our advanced publishing and collaboration features. We are really changing the game when it comes to delivering personalization at scale. Next slide. We have been primarily customer funded to date. Our customers include some of the largest medical device companies, including Medtronic. We've helped many of these companies go from paper brochures to a full digital solution. One of our customers, Medtronic, which is formerly Covidien, estimated their savings to be in the millions just in printing alone. Our solution has proven to shorten the sales cycle by aligning marketing and sales together and facilitating a more tailored experience for customers. In 2016, we plan to expand to go beyond medical device to other complex selling environments, including pharmaceutical, financial service, and several others. Next slide.
And these are your metrics? Is your revenue is at 1.2 million right now?
Yeah, we've been funded that to date, and we're currently converting many of our early adopters to licensing agreements.
So you didn't answer my question. Are you generating 1.2 million in annual revenue at the moment?
It's not annual revenue. That's just what we've collected. Our ongoing revenue is in the hundreds of thousands, where we've essentially been customer funded to build the platform of 1.2 million, and now we're converting those early adopters to licensing agreements.
So let me explain to me what you're saying here. When did you start the business?
So we started the business 3 years ago, and it's from a former digital agency. And we had Covidian, which has been acquired by Medtronic, funded the development of our publishing and collaboration platform. So we were originally building custom interactive sales presentations, and those sales presentations cost on average about $30,000 each, and they took about 3 months of production of custom development. And we presented Covidian with the opportunity for us to build a publishing collaboration platform that they would be our customer zero, essentially. And we've been able, through that process, to allow them now to actually produce the content using our platform. And the time for production has gone from 3 months to hours. So we've done a significant savings of time and of money for them in being able to manufacture.
Can you try to, David, can you try to answer my question? This $1.2 million is what this customer has paid you as revenue for you to develop this product? Is that what you're saying? And you own the IP rights to the product?
Exactly. Yeah, sorry, it's like a bit more simple. Yes, that's exactly right.
But 1.2 million is not investment, it's revenue, yes?
It's revenue, exactly. They have we have all the IP, and we're licensing it now to them. Okay.
And these, so this product that you've now developed with this $1.2 million worth of customer money, revenue, does it have any other customers?
It does. Yeah, we've expanded to a handful of other customers, Hologic being one of the other customers in medical device, and MedTel, which is another medical device company.
And how much are these guys paying you? What business model have you settled on for the new product?
So Hologic, for example, they have, they're just in the licensing of our platform, and we are currently, in the process. Basically, we have the ability to have we have a two-tier licensing model. One for the marketer, who is the actual administrator of the platform, and a lower tier pricing model for the sales rep. And our licensing with Covidian or with the Hologic is around $36,000 a month.
Okay. And this deal is signed. The Hologic deal is signed.
It's in the basically it's in the final stages of signing. So we have an onboarding process where they go through a trial of our platform, and oftentimes they pay for an initial pilot to actually experience it in a small way. And we've completed that process, and now they're in the process of signing the annual contract, which will include that price that I've mentioned.
And what does the competitive landscape look like for this kind of a product? A question that Liz Crosby is asking you in the public chat is, how does this differ from a SharePoint site?
So there's basically it's all about the right blend of technology, and we have our competitors are in the sales enablement space. Many of them provide just the actual distribution of the content, so it's like a better folder to share content. we have really combined this several different pieces of technology to facilitate this form of engagement. And, I would say that we're kind of, in this convergence between marketing automation and sales enablement. And there's many different competitors in that space. But when you're talking about SharePoint, SharePoint really doesn't have the authoring capabilities that we have. We provide, again, this multimedia interactive experience that's performed through a simple drag and drop authoring technique. We also have a micro social piece that facilitates the space so that each customer actually has their own profile page.
Who has those capabilities? Does ClearSlide have those capabilities?
They have portions of those, but they don't have, like ClearSlide essentially takes your PowerPoint and converts it to a different format and puts it online, where we actually support multiple file formats, including video, PDF, and PowerPoint, and we convert it into one common multimedia structure. So have you identified any direct competitor for what you're doing? I would say in terms of matching us feature for feature, no. There are many ways that companies are going about solving the issues of sales enablement. So we're not necessarily, obviously, like the only ones doing this, but in the way that we're doing this, we're novel and we're different. But the kind of platform, the technology platform that you're talking about that allows you to do a multimedia website, essentially, with the authoring tools and everything, a space where customers come and interact with your content and has a space that also has the communication capabilities, etc. Is there anybody who has that? Did I describe you correctly first? Yeah, exactly. No, nobody has the blend that I'm describing. Okay. All right. So, my sense is that what I really like about your situation is that you have used customer money to develop the product, and you've had an anchor customer with whom you've developed the product. So it's, you validated right from day one that it's something that is useful for a major customer. And now you're able to attract other customers who are willing to pay substantial amounts of money. $36,000 a month, did you say? Yeah. That's a very substantial amount of money. So if you can actually close customers at that level, and all you need to do is close 5 customers, and you have a very healthy business going there. So tell me, what are your roadblocks? What is blocking you right now? I would say just the question you asked, like who do you most align with technology-wise? We've taken again 3 years to learn as much as we can, not just from Medtronic, but we've been doing a ton of customer validation and really trying to figure out what are those true challenges that marketing and sales organizations are having. And I would say that our blocker really is just being, the first to do this, and whether, I'm concerned about us, like anybody that's doing something different, are we too soon, or, are we, aligned? How do we, prevent? I don't think so at all. I don't think so at all. If you look at your counterpart in the internal organization world, like Slack, for instance, that's replacing email at a very mass scale and getting huge adoption. Very different strategy, very different go-to-market strategy, very different product, a much more lightweight product, etc. These kinds of technologies are gaining traction. So if you can meaningfully quantify that you're substantially adding value to this complex sale process in large enterprises, that has a place, especially if the competitive landscape is weak. So the real question, and I haven't studied, I know some about this space, obviously, but I haven't looked at it with this lens on. So what I will encourage you to do is to look at that. And I also know that marketing technology right now is very hot, and there are larger companies that are looking to acquire great technology that has some early traction. So if you can get to
5, 10 customers that are validating your model of being able to do these large enterprise deals, I can help you get acquired most likely very quickly. If that's what you want to do, if you want to keep the company and build it to a $100 million company, that's another option. You can do that. But marketing technology right now is very hot.
Yeah, no, that's what I want to do. I'm really looking for an early exit. I've got lots of other ideas, and so I would appreciate any help and mentorship that you can provide me.
Okay, well, let me finish working with the other presenters today, and then why don't you hang on and listen to the section where I will describe how to use the 1 million by 1 billion program and our capabilities, and then if you decide that you want to join the program, I'll be delighted to help you through that.
Thank you.
Vince Carter, you're up next.
Hello, Sarmana. This is Vince Carter. I'm presenting from Los Angeles. How are you?
All right, and you?
Very good. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm the founder and chief operating officer of NextGen Urban. We're a real estate development company launching a solution for sustainable lifestyle communities. Can we go to the first slide? So I'm lucky enough to work half the year in Los Angeles and the other half of the year on the beautiful tropical beaches of Mexico, where my company, NextGen Urban, builds sustainable lifestyle communities. These communities deliver hassle-free, sustainable lifestyles to our customers who can instantly and permanently live in a sustainable, zero-waste, carbon-neutral lifestyle simply by moving on to our neighborhood. Our value proposition of hassle-free sustainable lifestyles is made possible by our special infrastructure that creates self-contained neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods internally produce and deliver all required utilities and services, including water, energy, food, and fuel. This is done by recycling and converting all waste, sewage, and trash, and using only the renewable resources on site. This is a turnkey platform that liberates our customers from the global supply chain for their most critical resources of water, energy, food, and fuel. And this provides our customers with a hassle-free, sustainable, zero-waste, carbon-neutral lifestyle. Next slide, please.
Can you tell us more about how you do what you do? You've said it many times that you're doing sustainable lifestyles. We've got that. Tell us how you do it.
Sure. That's a couple slides down, but essentially, we have technology and a process for internally producing and delivering all required utilities and services using renewable resources such as solar and wind and biodigesters and microgrids, and it's part of our real estate infrastructure.
So what are you? Are you a real estate company? Are you building actually buildings and building complexes? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, we make money selling homes that allow our customers to have this lifestyle. So is that clear?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, we are a technology and technology-enabled services accelerator, so I'm not sure how much we'll be able to do for you from being a real estate company, but I'm still waiting to hear what is it that you came here for.
The innovation that we're launching really is tech-based, clean technology on the scale of a community. So, for example, clean tech infrastructure involves energy and bio and waste-to-value technologies. So we don't develop technology, we deploy it.
But so your core product is selling homes.
Correct, but the clean tech infrastructure that we're launching expands our business model into the utility service. So clean tech infrastructure is a new area for municipalities and small-scale utilities. This is the industry.
So I'm afraid I don't understand your business, how that part works. So you have to be a bit more clear on how you play, what role do you play in that window?
This is
I see a lot of
turnkey.
slides which don't tell me anything.
This is a turnkey platform for sustainable communities. So we bring to the consumer a personal access to a sustainable lifestyle. So by moving on to our community, they can instantly and permanently have a sustainable, zero-waste, carbon-neutral lifestyle simply by moving into our neighborhood. This is done through our technology.
I understand that, but if I understood you correctly, you're building housing communities that has sustainable water, power, food, fuel, digital. That's what you're saying. And what does that mean? Are you have like water desalination plants, or some sort of a sustainable water strategy? You have alternative energy and those kinds of things as part of your community, yes?
Correct. Our technology internally produces and delivers all the required utilities and services.
Okay. This is still outside the purview of 1 million by 1 million. Our focus is IT and IT-enabled services, clean tech, and this is not even a clean tech business. This is a real estate business. This is not going to be within the scope of our expertise at all.
Okay, I understand. Well.
And what questions did you come here with? If you share the question with me, I will try to still add value nonetheless.
Well, so we're really wondering about our growth strategy. We've been approached by several parties interested in exclusive rights to roll out sustainable lifestyle communities through a franchise agreement arrangement with us. So we had questions about that.
Do you currently have communities such as this up and running?
Yes, we've been in business for 35 years, and our team's been building around the world for many different areas and projects. But this is a bit of a new launch for us with this technology. So we're looking at it very much like a startup, and we're trying to build the brand.
So my question, however, was not your 35-year-old real estate business. My question is about this sustainable community on a certain set of technologies, this platform that you're talking about, licensing or franchising. Is there any instance of a sustainable community on your technology platform up and running already?
Yes, there is. We have product on the ground.
And what is the scale of that project or projects?
We have projects that range from 10 units to 500. So currently building one with 100 homes. Okay.
And you're being approached by people who want to license your technology. So what is intellectual property defensible in the technology that you've put together?
We don't have any patents or anything. It's really more of a steep learning curve that someone would have to go through to be able to do what we do. It's not 100% defensible in any way.
So this is going to be, I'm going to be speaking slightly out of turn because this is not my core expertise area. However, I just have a little bit of insight into how real estate projects get done from personal investments and stuff like that. You know how real estate projects often are done as joint ventures, right?
Correct. We do financing through project financing as opposed to venture capital.
So I would recommend, instead of trying to franchise this thing, you just do joint venture financing where you control the technology elements and parts of the project that are more esoteric and complicated, and you just bring in financial partners and do it as joint venture projects.
Okay, very good.
that will be within your scope of knowledge. It will be within the scope of the real estate industry's regular practices. So you're not going to have to reinvent the wheel and educate a market in things that are complex and cumbersome. And in this, the situation, the scenario that you're describing, in my opinion, and you can discard this opinion completely because I'm not an expert in your field, this may be the best way for you to scale.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Okay. Henry Chang is up next. That's our last presenter today, I believe.
Yes.
Hello, Henry.
Yes, good morning, Shramana. How are you?
All right. You're dialing from Canada or China?
Canada, west of Toronto.
Toronto, okay.
West of Toronto, yeah.
Tell us what you're working on.
Okay. Shall I start the pitching?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning, Shramana, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to brief you about my work and seek your help to turn it into some kind of business and raise some funding. Next slide, please. What I have created is a weekly updated due diligence directory of 5,000 plus Canadian companies and 10,000 plus Chinese companies. I have their names, their geographical location, which means the province and the city, and their technology competitive advantage, represented by U.S. patent holding. From my Google search study, this is probably the only information source known in the world to track the latest patent competitive advantages of Canadian and Chinese companies. Next slide, please.
Henry, is there an equivalent of this for the U.S. market?
Please say it again.
Is there an equivalent of your database for U.S. entities?
Not yet. We only entities in Canada and in China, but they all have.
I know you have created Canada and China. Does something like this exist in the U.S. market?
Yes, of course, because they have U.S. patent. They all have U.S. patent. Okay.
No, that's not my question. I'm asking, does a database like the one that you put together exist for the U.S. market?
Not yet, I believe.
So you could, from what you are saying, you could conceivably expand your database to U.S. market, European market, and other markets as well.
It can be done to other markets, yes, but not right now, only for U.S. market, because U.S. patent only valid at the U.S. market, right?
I don't think that has anything to do with anything.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead with your presentation.
My answer? Did you understand my answer?
No.
Do I answer your question?
From what I gathered, there is no such database with competitive advantage research and analysis on the U.S. market, according to you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
Okay. Then next, the third one. As you all often ask, the impact of my work is to provide the latest geopolitical insights about Canadian and the Chinese intellectual ecosystem. This is vital information to support decision-making on economic development planning, B2B partnership building, merger and acquisition, investment evaluation, policy harmonization, employment match, job market intelligence, etc. Up to now, no government websites nor private information sources such as Bloomberg, Thomson Reuters, and Google can provide such geographical information.
Okay.
Next slide, please. The potential customers will be those who want to know the answer of the following questions. First, who has U.S. patents in a specific Canadian or Chinese province or city? Second, what has patented in the U.S. market by the companies in a specific province or city in Canada, mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan? Next,
so
please.
Who has these kinds of questions? What are the profiles of entities who have these kinds of questions?
Right now, as I know, the government agency, especially in economic development planning, they may be interested in this. And
how many of these economic development planning agencies do you have as customers currently?
I'm looking for one. I'm still looking for.
All right.
Okay. And then shall I customer, and then the next, who had used my product, my information with success. Okay, the Canadian part of this database earned me a contract job of patent research specialist at the government of the Regional Peel, Ontario Province, Canada, with a copyright license agreement to let the Regional Peel use the information from this database. In 2012, the Regional Peel sponsored me to publish the successful patent intelligence applications at the 14th Metropolis Conference in Toronto. Next, please. Okay. Now, my problem is I'm a scientist, not a businessman. I have a difficulty in selling. Okay, I have created this information source, and I believe it is valuable to some people or to some strategic issues. Okay, but I don't know who exactly will need my work and or my expertise, and I also don't know how to sell it. And my present situation is similar to that of J.K. Rowling many years ago when she created the Harry Potter story and was looking for someone to appreciate her story and turn her story into novels and movies. And that is why I approached to you and hope you could give me some help. Okay, thank you for your
Henry,
time. And
a very important question for you here.
Yeah.
Are you interested in learning how to turn your concept into a business?
Of course, I'm interested in learning, but to be honest, right now I have some financial problem, and maybe I don't have the money to pay the tuition fee or even to pay the food and the living cost while I'm learning. That is my problem.
Well, we have a strategy that a lot of entrepreneurs in our program use called bootstrapping using a paycheck. So you go get a job first that may be related to this, maybe may not be related to this. You talked about the region of Peel giving you some sort of an assignment. You can go seek another job as a patent research specialist in some other organization that is a paid job that gives you a monthly salary and that allows you to address your financial challenges, and then we can help you. If you're not willing and able to learn through the 1 Million by 1 Million program, we cannot help you. But first and foremost, you're going to need to solve your personal financial problems, and for that, you need to go get a job. This project is not going to get to that kind of money generating situation unless you can put in the work required to learn.
Well, instead of for me to learn how to sell, and will it be possible if I could have I could find someone, for example, like you, and to help
I'm not interested. I don't have the time. That's not what we do. We don't sell other people's products. We teach people. Our business is to teach people how to become successful entrepreneurs. We're not in the business of building other people's businesses.
Well, could you introduce me to someone else?
No. That's not our business either. Our business is to help entrepreneurs who want to learn how to build a business. That's the only thing we do. And if you're interested in that, we can help you. Otherwise, we cannot help you.
Well, and then thank you for your straightforward conclusion.
All right. You're welcome.
You are a good end to me.
Find a job so that you can stabilize first and foremost.
Well, right now I tried, but it's not easy. And then as I said,
all right, Henry, I'm gonna have to end your segment because we have to do other things with other people in the room as well. So thank you for presenting, and we wish you all the very best in addressing your challenges, current challenges. Folks,
okay.
I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes explaining to you how to use the 1 Million by 1 Million program. And as I've been very upfront with Henry and others, the only thing we can help you with is if you are interested in learning how to build a business. That's the only thing that we do, is help people learn how to build a business and shepherd them through that process. So if you like what we do, please refer serious entrepreneurs into 1M1M, and we will be delighted to help them. And serious is very important because we are looking for people who are willing to put many years of work, willing and able to put many years of work that is required to build a real serious business. And those are the kinds of entrepreneurs we are looking to work with. Everything in terms of resources is at 1mby1m.com. You will find a terrific content-rich blog on the website, and if you follow the blog, you'll learn a lot. And again, everything is pinned on the assumption that you are interested in learning. If that is true, then you will find 1 Million by 1 Million an incredibly rich resource. If that is not what your motivation is, then I'm not sure how useful you'll find us, because it's a very rigorous environment. It does require studying. It does require understanding what's happening in the markets and the industries and how to play that market. The Entrepreneur Journeys book series is the next piece of, next set of resources. You'll find 12 volumes of Entrepreneur Journeys, case study-based books. Each volume has 12 to 16 case studies. And what I've done here is taken you through the process of sitting down with a bunch of very successful entrepreneurs and having a cup of coffee. That's what we have simulated in the entire Entrepreneur Journey series on the blog as well as in these books, and then taken a topic that is of importance for you to learn in learning the methodology of entrepreneurship and learning it from people who have mastered that journey. And the reason this is very interesting is because we've done this kind of sitting down and capturing the stories and the journeys and the case studies of over 700 entrepreneurs over the last 10 years. And most of these people you will not encounter in your daily life, and they will, even if you do encounter for 5 minutes at some entrepreneurship event, maybe listening to them speak, they're not going to sit down with you and go to these level of depths to share their insights with you. But they've done that with us, with me, and I have published every bit of it so that you can all share in that experience. it's a bit like what we were talking about, these blogs, right, about travel and travel itineraries and travel research. Well, this is the same thing. It's basically an entrepreneur's journey and the strategic maneuverings of that journey that we've captured so that you can learn from their journeys. And this is the philosophy of the program. Case study-based learning is what we do here, both in the books and in the 1M1M program itself. And the reason we do these roundtables is also so that you can participate and experience the case studies of various different entrepreneurs, what they're going through, what their strategic decision-making points are, and how I am advising them to navigate those decision points. That's the learning that we want to impart in your process. So if you go to the website, there's a ton of video FAQs, information about the program. These roundtables happen every Thursday almost. This is our 289th roundtable, so a 300th roundtable is coming up probably somewhere in the spring. And we've had, I think at this point, the 30,000 number is also outdated. We're probably approaching more like 40,000 or cross 40,000. So please feel free to go to the Free for Public Roundtable page and register to attend or pitch. The premium program is a $1,000 annual membership fee, and that's where you go from here. If you like the program, if you want to work within the 1M1M framework, then your next step is to join the premium program, and I will, the entire 1 Million by 1 Million team will help you through that process. We have a very extensive methodology established, learning methodology established at this point. There's a powerful curriculum that is over 300 hours worth of material in video lectures, case studies, and other articles and so forth. And you will probably need to budget 50 to 100 hours worth of curriculum studying time to focus on the areas that you need to learn, your interest areas, your sector, and so forth, and to really get value out of the program. And then we have these kinds of interactive sessions that are private sessions where you will get the the mentoring, the live mentoring. So you have the asynchronous learning, which is in the online curriculum in video lectures and case studies, and then you have the synchronous learning in these kinds of strategy consulting sessions. We help you with business development, we help you with financing, we help you with media relations. All of those are part of the $1,000 annual membership fee program. If you go to the website, you'll find the $1 Million Club where we have profiled some of our success stories. You will also find an ROI analysis of the 1M1M program in the Quantifying the 1M1M Value Equation link on the website, where we have analyzed all the different vectors in which 1M1M provides value. So the total value that you get from the program by spending $1,000 is $375,000 plus 5 to 10% equity worth of value that you would have to pay to get this level of service in the open market. And nothing like this exists anywhere else. The 1M1M self-assessment is something that I encourage all of you to take your businesses through and answer these questions. These questions are vital to your strategy of how you put one foot before the other. Please make sure that you address these questions. So anyway, you can hang out on the website and look at the video FAQs and everything and that will answer most of your questions. You can contact us if you have further questions, and Irina Patterson will help you with additional questions. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. So you are going to, even if you want to raise money, you will have to do a lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startup phase where you validate and establish, proof points, establish traction, etc., around which investors would be willing to invest in your company. So that is just the reality of the market, and you're going to have to abide by that reality. In terms of media coverage, if you go to our press page, you will find coverage of 1M1M premium members. We have a very big reach today. The community that we touch today is over 250,000 people. So we can help you get your word out there. Very powerful people are part of the 1M community, so we can connect a lot of dots. We can create a lot of publicity for what you're doing, getting your message out across, and all that is included in the premium program. That's it on the program. If you are trying to build an entrepreneurial community somewhere in the world, you're very welcome to join our affiliate program. And then the upcoming free roundtables are pretty much every Thursday from here on until, definitely until the end of February. I don't know our March schedule yet, but definitely until the end of February. We have roundtables every week and most likely also all through March. Vision India 2020 is an ideation book. I published this book about 6 years ago, and this book addresses, basically it has $45 billion business ideas, and it's something that is designed to help stir ideas in your brain. And it's written as business fiction. It's very fun to read and very inspiring to read. So if you're still in the ideation phase, go look at Vision India 2020. Incubator in a Box is our platform that we use to work with corporations, governments, etc., to run their incubation programs. That's pretty much it. We can go to questions. So the instructions for Q&A, dial-in instructions are on your screen. Please feel free to dial in to ask your questions. You can also ask questions in the public chat. Please make sure you set your public chat to send to all participants, so that you're not sending me private messages or Maureen private messages, because this is now a public discussion. Okay, let us see what questions are here. Fahaduddin, please go ahead and ask your question either in the public chat or call in. Dean Owen is asking, Idris, why did you go with journey.com? Why did you go with journey.me, not journey.com? Farhad Uddin is asking, you've written a book on ideas on startups in India, but have you yourself done a startup in India? Yes, Farhad, I did one of the first product companies based out of India, actually. We operated in a Silicon Valley, India mode. I built the entire product in Calcutta. This we are talking 1997, 1998, 99 timeframe. We were one of the first product companies in India to be able to raise financing from Silicon Valley venture capitalists. So NEA, New Enterprise Associates, one of the largest VCs in the Valley, funded that company. Eventually it was sold. So yes, I have plenty of experience. And before that, I did another company called Dias Infotech, also out of Calcutta, India. And I've operated in the Silicon Valley, India mode for a long, long time, almost 20 years. Over 20 years, actually. Idris is answering Dean Owen's question that journey.com was taken, and it's a personal story, so .me sounds good, makes sense. Fahaduddin is saying, for someone like you who already have connections in the Valley, it must be pretty easy. Fahad, in 1997, I was 26 years old, and I didn't have the same connections that I have today. I did it when I didn't have those connections. I built those connections. Now I have connections, but at the time I didn't have those connections. And it was not easy at all, because at the time, Silicon Valley investors were not at all comfortable with the idea of building a product with the entire engineering team in India. I had my entire engineering team in India, and Silicon Valley VCs were very uncomfortable with that. Today, all that has changed. VCs are very comfortable with engineering teams anywhere in the world, and the world has become a much more globalized world. 20 years ago, that was not the case. Raising money was extremely difficult at the time because of the reason that I'm telling you. If you're trying to raise money for a company that was that didn't have an engineering team based in Silicon Valley in 1997, it was extremely difficult to raise money, period. Abhishek is asking, what level of details are required for making a cut as roundtable pitcher? Abhishek, if you register for the roundtable, the instructions are actually both on the roundtable page, and Maureen will send you instructions of what is required. We are pretty much first come, first serve as far as roundtable pitching is concerned. But you are going to have to prepare your slides based on instructions that Maureen will provide you. And we don't necessarily screen on the roundtable pitching either. So if you want to pitch, just go register and you will most likely be given a slot. But then you're going to need to prepare your pitch to fit the framework. Does that answer your question, Abhishek? 1 million by 1 million, by the way, is an effort to democratize entrepreneurship education and incubation focused on our specialty, which is IT and IT-enabled services. So as long as you're working on a business that is in the IT and IT-enabled services area, we are open for everybody. So there isn't really making a cut kind of concept in the program. We try to give everybody opportunities, but it is first come, first serve. And typically we are booked out for several weeks. So I think Maureen will tell you, if you register now, your chances of getting a pitch slot is probably going to be in February. David Richards is asking, you mentioned briefly that you might be able to potentially help facilitate an acquisition. Can you speak more about what this could look like? Is this a different program or part of your existing program? It's part of the existing program. We pretty much do whatever it takes for you to be successful. So we're going to need to work on your business to develop the business to a point where an acquisition may be viable. And once we get there and once the ducks are all in place, all the collaterals are in place, I will connect you to whomever can help you move forward, whether it's customers, potential acquirers, investors, everything. All that is part of the program. And it's only a $1,000 annual membership fee. There you go. Maureen is sharing with you that the next pitch slots are available for February 4th session. Anybody else? Questions, comments? We have a couple of minutes left. I want to introduce you to Irina Patterson. You may have met her already. Irina is going to be answering your questions about the 1M1M program, whether this is a fit for you and so forth. If you need to talk to her, please send her an email, and hopefully you will be able to work through your questions and so forth and be part of the program. And if you're part of the program, as soon as you join, you start getting access to the resources. You can spend several hours studying some curriculum. Next Wednesday is a private roundtable. You can come and discuss, etc. So there's a ton of immediate value that we can provide you with as soon as you join the program. I have another minute to take one more question. So if you would like to ask another question, I'll be happy to answer. Abhishek, I travel to India once or twice a year, usually. But there's nothing fixed. It really varies from year to year. All right, folks, it's 9:30 a.m. Pacific, so I would like to close the session today. And please come back next week and we'll continue the discussions. And we will continue the conversation. Somebody is asking, for a startup bi-coastal woman entrepreneur, what do you have to offer? We have offerings for entrepreneurs. We don't make any distinction between woman entrepreneur, not entrepreneur. Women entrepreneur has to still succeed as an entrepreneur. There's nothing, we have specific modules for women entrepreneurs in the curriculum, which are case studies and examples of female entrepreneurs that you can draw lessons from. But overall, what we're trying to make you successful as is an entrepreneur, and the rules of the game are not different for women. The rules of the game are exactly the same for all entrepreneurs. Does that answer your question? And bi-coastal or not, we don't care. You can be in Timbuktu, the same rules apply. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you're going to have to follow certain methodology, as you're going to have to deliver on certain metrics. And if that's what you want to do, then you will learn from the program. All right, folks, I'm going to close the session for today. We can continue the conversation next time. Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming.